Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the live session of this course, Subsurface Exploration, Importance and Techniques Involved. In this particular course, we have gone through different methods based on which one can go for in situ investigation. These include geotechnical methods, geophysical methods. Even before starting geophysical methods, I've given a broader perspective about what is the requirement for in situ investigation, what is the tentative budget or percentage of total budget which one can spend or plan to spend for in situ investigation before proceeding for construction and other activities. While doing so, we'll also get to know that what are the potential limitations, what are the potential alternatives which one can think of in case there is any distress during the execution part of a particular project. So in situ investigation will give you an idea about what are the different alternatives one can think about in case of any distress, even at times if there is a change in plan with respect to the execution part. So in situ investigation can give you a lot more information about the soil type, depth of overburden, even some challenges which are likely to be observed at a particular site of interest, and how one can tackle these from designer point of view, from contractor's point of view, and even from legal point of views. As mentioned in the lecture, that it's not always about the design as well as execution, but also at times from legal point of view, it is very important to understand how sound your design is, how sound is your execution is, and all these can be validated only with respect to whatever in situ data is available with us based on in situ investigations. So we have discussed about geotechnical investigations, including standard penetration test and cone penetration test. Same way, we can also discussed about geophysical methods, multi-channel analysis of surface waves, spectral analysis of surface waves, pressure meter test was also discussed, dynatometer test, electrical resistivity test. So all these tests, depending upon the properties of the soil, which we will encounter while performing the test, whether it is with respect to the displacement as given in dynatometer test, or in terms of pressure applied at different levels during pressure meter test. Similarly, in case there is non-descriptive testing we are talking about, like MHW survey or multi-spectral analysis of surface wave test. So these tests are going to give you a lot more information, not only about the shallow stratification, but also about deep stratifications available at a particular location. Now, whenever we are looking at design point of view and even for execution point of view, three things are more important. One is what is the type of loading condition you are going to experience once a particular project is complete. Secondly, what type of soil or rocky medium available at different depth, particularly during the depth of influence or zone of influence, which one can determine based on the pressure valve for a particular test. Similarly, the last part is the position of groundwater table or any external loading condition which otherwise can compromise. Otherwise means if you have not accounted for this loading condition, it can very easily compromise the safety of your structure. It can very easily compromise even during the execution phase of a particular structure or a foundation system. So all these three parameters, external loading condition, soil type, position of groundwater table, should be given due importance while going for design. And similarly, for execution part also, one has to cross-refer with more than one type of test in order to understand different stratifications available, their strength properties, position of groundwater table. So collectively, all these should be taken into consideration. I hope the methods which have been given in this particular course, all the methods, all of you would have gone through very carefully, because all these methods are very frequently used in the construction industry, particularly whenever we are going for new projects. Certainly, if you are going for any project where there is signature of distress, then one can locate into what are the exploration which have been done previously when the project was in its planning and execution stage. Similarly, if there are no reports available, you can refer to the reports available to the surrounding areas, and you can also plan likely to be conducted geotechnical and geophysical investigations. In the later part of our course, we have also discussed what are the different methods to be conducted for pile testing in order to understand the load carrying capacity of a pile, in order to ensure whether the particular dimensions of the pile which have been taken into consideration while assessing the load bearing capacity or bearing capacity of the foundation actually has been executed to a particular site. So those can be ensured while performing in situ testing related to high strain as well as low strain dynamic testing on the piles. So these will give you how much is the total load which a particular pile or a pile foundation can withstand, and accordingly one can make an understanding about whether a particular loading can be transferred to a particular pile or you have to go with some other methods. Of course, you can have some working piles, some testing piles also, and accordingly one can conduct these tests on testing pile to find out how much is the ultimate load carrying capacity. Similar way, whenever we are going with offshore investigations, as I mentioned, offshore investigations can be done for different projects, including if there are creation of artificial islands or for creation of storage facilities offshore, or as far as the laying of transmission cables at the seafloor is concerned, even at times for oil exploration rigs and other offshore platforms, in order to ensure the safety of those platforms and to provide more stable foundation medium, we have to have offshore investigations as well. So offshore investigations will help you in understanding, again, beneath the sea floor, what are the different kinds of medium available, how much resistance one can expect because of the presence of these medium. It can be because of compressible load or primarily in case of because water column is available, so there will be equally, or I should say more important is uplift capacity of the foundation or anchor system which are provided at the seabed. So in all these cases, one can refer to again what are the different ways one can collect the sample. So I have given a variety of methods based on which one can collect the sample both in offshore and onshore conditions. And then similarly, what are the other infrastructure which will be required to conduct offshore investigations at a particular location, how to go for positioning of the vessel, how to go for testing if you are trying to cover larger area. So all those have been considered. What is the mooring, then what are the important locations where generally, as far as oil and gas exploration is concerned, what are the general locations in which one can perform these tests. We have also discussed whenever you are going for offshore investigation, what are the likely to be faced challenges or risks in offshore investigations. So positioning is one important part. Secondly, what is the depth you are looking for from the exploration point of view, and what are the challenges particularly related to overburden pressure, because before even you start touching the top surface of a particular soil layer or any medium which is available in offshore environment at seabed level, it will be always experiencing some minimum pressure because of water column. So overcoming that particular pressure, and then one has to go with in situ investigation. So one has to look into these details while deciding what are the methods to be used, and of course, offshore investigation, as you are going, the exploration cost is also significantly high. So one has to also look into what are the feasible methods to use for investigation and for what particular purpose you can go for these investigations. The chat box is open right now. So if you have any question related to the course content wise, if you are interested to know what are the potential applications, definitely the agencies which are looking for graduates, postgraduates, and even experienced people who have good information about these methods, then these are the places where the learning from this particular course will be very helpful, because this course has given you a lot more information inside about different methods, and through different numerical problems we also try to learn how to interpret the outcomes of these methods, whether it is coming with respect to dilatometer test, pressure meter test, CPT test, SPT test, shear velocity profile. So all those directly are giving you some indication about whether it is about the medium characterization, whether it is about stratification variation, stiffness variation. You go with electrical resistivity test, how the electrical resistivity on an average is varying with respect to uh, uh, spreading the electrodes, potential electrode and current electrodes. Similarly, if you are going with anomaly methods like magnetic anomaly, that will also give you an idea about what are the potential sources of anomaly, which is leading to change in the average magnetic properties or relative magnetic properties with respect to the average value at that particular location. So you can go with Booger anomaly methods. Similarly, if you are looking for magnetic anomaly, again you can look into those parts. So all those methods have been covered in detail in this particular course, which I am sure will be very helpful for you to understand what are the reports which are generated from these methods. So if you come across any report, I'm sure this particular course will help you in interpreting those reports, and based on your understanding which you have gathered from this course plus your experience, you will be in a better position to confidently decide how to move further, whether you are going for new design exploration or you are going with dealing maybe with respect to the legal or legal challenges or any kind of distress which is happening to the surrounding area. So with this objective, the course is designed, and I'm sure this course will benefit to people. Of course, later on also these course-related lectures are available, so you can always come back and look at these courses. You can re-look into the way the interpretations have been done in this particular course. And I'm sure this course will be very helpful, not only for the beginners, but also for people who are already into the industry and looking for more challenging responsibilities. So this particular course will be very, very beneficial for looking those kinds of new challenges. So if you have any question, you can put the question in the chat box. I'll read out the question and then I'll try to answer the question. And this is a continuous process of learning. So it's not like once you do this particular course, you will learn each and everything about the course. So many a times you have to also refer to what are the reports available from actual site condition, and then see how the observations coming from different investigations are correlating with respect to each other. Because majority of the time, whenever you are going with deeper excavations, I'm telling beyond trench pit can be excavated. So in those cases, sometimes you will get even in situ samples, which definitely you can bring to laboratory and analyze the sample for other properties. But majority of the time, whether you consider because of financial constraints, maybe because of time constraints, maybe many a times permissions to go for destructive methods are not obtained. We cannot get those permissions also so easily, particularly if you're talking about some restricted area or some built up area. So then you have to go with other indirect methods. Considering these indirect methods are giving you whatever based on inverse analysis, whatever representation of the sample you are getting or stratification you are getting. So you have to even verify this. Always always follow a process that whenever you are dealing with in situ conditions, if you are finding anything which is questionable or doubtful, verify it with more than one method, whether you are going with geophysical method or geotechnical method, because each will give you not only the soil type, but each will give you more and more confidence about what is actually available beneath the ground surface. So if that is not available right now, then conducting more and more tests, you will be able to decide how to proceed further. What are the likely to be faced challenges? Maybe if you are not facing a challenge right now, you start exploration, or depending upon the outcome of the exploration, you go for execution part. It may happen that you may experience some kind of distress to the structure you are focusing on, or to the within your periphery where your designated land is available, or to the any other location which is adjacent to your property. So in such cases, these investigations and the interpretation. So one is how you are doing the investigation, how sound is your investigation. Secondly, if you are not doing the investigation, how clearly, how confidently you are able to understand what has been explained in this investigation, what actually you have tried to found out from this particular investigation and the reports, which can provide some hint, which can give you some idea about how to tackle the situation or how to come out from the situation of distress to the structure or to the foundation. So all these will be, you will be beneficial once you know about different methods, because you will get to know what are the limitations and challenges and where there are chances, maybe for human error, chances of interpretation can go wrong. So all these things you can only understand once you know in and out of the particular investigation method. So if you have any question, you can put, and I hope the exam also would have gone nice. And so keep looking at the notes and the lectures even once you are not registered for the course, because there's no harm in again re-looking at the lectures. So if you have any question, you can put in the chat box. And thank you, Mr. Weber Anchor, for the good comments which you have given over here in the chat box. All the notes for this particular course and the solution of the assignments have been shared from time to time. Notes are there on the portal, so one can download these notes and you can refer those notes even later. These are given in PDF format, so you can actually download these notes and keep for your reference. Okay, thank you, Mr. Weber, for bringing this. So CBR test actually, when I was designing this particular course, I tried listing out what are the different geotechnical and geophysical methods which are very common and for which very limited information is given in the current lectures available online. So, and secondly, I have to restrict the content of the course so that I can cover these in 20 lectures. So I'm thankful for your suggestion, and maybe in near future, whenever there will be a possibility, I'll try to cover some lectures related to CBR test and some other tests which are also equally important, particularly related to in situ investigations for near surface media. Thank you. So this I'll try to cover in the future. Thank you. Okay, so since there are no further questions, we are closing this particular live session. Thank you. This course must be beneficial for you even now and even in the future. Thank you.